Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Coffee's Conspiracies. I don't know how many conspiracies we'll be talking about. I just like the alliteration of Coffee's and Conspiracies together. But we'll probably talk about some. We always. Oh shit! I gotta mute that. Sorry, guys. I'm not used to like muting my own stream, but yeah. We usually end up talking about conspiracies anyway, so it is what it is. Um, so sorry I didn't join you last night. I ended up I mowed yesterday too, and I just ended up dying pretty much after my day.
Oh yeah, no worries. It was more of a mild flat Earth fight club, and I need to get I'm getting to the point in that show where it's like I sort of need to pick a side on how I want to do the show. You know what I mean? Because do I want it to be loud and obnoxious all the time, or do I want it to be quiet and respectful? I kind of like it to be a mix of both, but sometimes it just doesn't. I don't know. It just doesn't come across. I don't know. I guess every episode's a little bit different too, depending on who gets in there and what kind of mood they're in and shit. But
Right.
it wasn't as exciting as an episode last night.
Did you have any flat earthers come in and give you some shit?
No, we had Ireland in there, but
he's quite a regular though, so
yeah. Yeah.
So what do you got planned for this glorious weekend?
Probably getting some of my stuff packed up around here because I'm gonna be moving into a new place this week, hopefully.
Oh, you did find a new place? That's awesome. Congratulations.
Yep. So that'll be cool. I'll have a better studio space set up. Hopefully I'll have a little bit more area to shoot videos in. This place is cramped that I'm in here right now. When I do my videos, I just sit in this exact same spot, just with the camera over here pointed at me, and I've only really got room for one light. But the one light works pretty well. I like the way I had the lighting going on, but they'll be completely different aesthetic for my videos from now on. I'll have a green screen or black screen or white screen or blue screen or whatever, and lights set up and everything. It's gonna be great.
I asked Secular if he wanted to hop in, and he said it's too early for him. So, Nancy
Word.
boy, you are.
Word.
Nancy boy. And we're not talking about nothing too serious. It's too early in the morning for serious shits. Too much news. Too early for serious shits. Oh, I found it. Here's a silly article. You guys want to hear this? Check this out. DUI suspects mixed Xanax and booze and told the police Jesus drank wine and so did I. That's a funny one. There's no article. It's just a little blurb, but that was pretty funny.
This must be a slow news day or something. I don't know. That even means. That's just like so. I don't know. To me, that's not a story. That's just like.
Yeah, it's just a blurb.
Yeah, that's just like what Ryan down the road did the last time he got pulled over too, and he's in jail. So, it's not like I know that kind of stuff doesn't work on the cops, and it's not even really that funny to me. You know what I mean?
Right. I just thought it was funny that he threw Jesus in there. Oh, yeah. It was Jesus. It was Jesus.
Oh, should we do a stag zit watch? The zit's coming back. I don't know if it's a zit or an ingrown hair, but it's been here for almost 2 weeks, and I thought it was dying down, and now it's started to flare back up, and it's under the skin, and I've picked at it, and I've squeezed it, and mostly only just clear juice comes out. So that's where I'm at. I got this big, huge, sore shit on my face.
Well, that sucks. I haven't had a zit in a while, but they are annoying when I do get them. Like I'm like, God damn it, I'm too old for this shit. But I guess.
Yeah. And then I have the bad habit of like picking at them and stuff. So now I've got to you know, a red mark here, I've got a red mark here, I got a red mark here because I fuck, you know, and I think it's from the stress and anxiety lately that's caused me to start breaking out again. But
hold on a second, man. Someone's calling me. Take over for a second for me, would you?
No worries. Yeah, so that's yep. Well, yeah, no, hey. So this rope walks into a bar, and he walks up to the bartender and he orders a drink. And the bartender says, "Nah, nah, 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 nah. We don't serve your kind here. Get out, rope." And the rope leaves, and he thinks to himself, "Well, fuck, I really want a drink, but they don't serve ropes." So he goes around the corner back into the alleyway, and he ties himself into a knot, and he frays up the top of his head, right? So it's all frayed out. And he goes back in there, and the bartender looks at him, and he says, "Hey, aren't you that same rope that just came in here a minute ago?" And the rope looks at him and says, "Nope, I'm afraid not." Oh, that's pretty stupid. That's pretty stupid. I'll play a little song on the guitar. Hey.
Good morning.
Good morning, starshine.
Morning, Artie. Sorry about
The
that.
earth says hello.
Say hello.
You twinkle up above.
This is lovely.
You don't like my singing?
Yeah, no, I don't mind singing.
You don't like my singing? Did you think I was dying? Did you think I was dying?
Good morning.
Sorry about that call. It was you know that I told you I started like a new like mowing and shit like that. Well, landscaping is general if they want trees planted and stuff like that too. But that was just a new customer calling asking me what my charges were. I said, well, I'd have to come and look at what you want done. I can't quote you a price unless I know what I'm getting myself into.
Yeah, it's funny how many people would call and ask for well, what would you charge to trim a tree? I don't know. Is it a brand new tree? Is it a 100-year-old oak?
Right. Yeah. Is it a dead tree? Is it a live tree? All that shit makes a difference, Yeah.
Am I going to have to haul a bunch of shit away, or is it going to stay on the property?
Right.
Hauling it away costs money.
Yes, it does. And you can't just take wood to anywhere either. I mean, I'm pretty sure. Well, I don't know about where you guys live.
Well, Fort Wayne has a free disposal site for biological stuff.
Yeah,
which is cool, but it's in the middle of fucking nowhere.
Yeah, see, like we don't have anything around. Like all we have is the county dump, and I'm not paying money to take their shit away unless they give me enough money to. And I don't even know if they want you to take shit like that to the dump. I mean,
I don't think they care.
Yeah,
I don't know why. I don't know why it would make a difference to them.
Yeah, I might not. I mean, I know they don't want electronics, so
yeah, too much money.
I mean, we have to take out we have a place in town, or not in town, but it's like a town over. You know how the Midwest is. Every town's like 10 miles apart.
They make you take your electronics to a different location.
Yes.
Do you know why?
Because
they're making money off of it. They're selling it to China for the gold.
Yeah, that's why they don't charge you to fucking get rid of it. They're like, oh yeah, sure, we'll take it. Come on in. We'll take your shit.
Well, it's the funny thing around here is, and I assume it's true in most places, is that brown beer bottles don't get recycled.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
They can't what, melt them down and reuse them because of the color or what?
Yes. But I don't understand why a glass manufacturer that makes nothing but brown beer bottles wouldn't want a bunch of brown fucking glass. But
yeah, that doesn't make sense. Like Budweiser and Bud Light and shit.
Maybe there's something that happens to it chemically that turns it brown when they make it, and they can't
no, they add a dye to it so that because light will make beer go skunky.
Yeah,
right.
So it's colored, but I see your point that maybe the thing they color it with is something that can't be recycled, and it fucks up the glass if you try to do it again. But I don't know what that would be.
maybe that's why Corona tastes like such shit, because it's clear glass. I hate Corona, dude. That fucking I mean, like I've seen people drink it, and I wonder. I'm like, are you just drinking that because it makes you look cool, or because you like the taste of it? Because
I always liked Corona, but if you leave one out in the sun for a day,
it's over.
So it's over. It's done. I remember one time I was over like at my mom's house, and I'm like, "There's beer right there," and she's like, "Yeah, it's been sitting out in the sun for a couple of days." I'm like, "I don't care. I'm thirsty. I need a beer. I don't care how warm it is." And she's like, don't do it. And I'm like,
I'm a man. I will do
it. So, I cracked it open and oh no, I don't remember if I got a drink of it in me or not, but I think as soon as I cracked it open, I was like, oh goodness.
Yeah, I've bought it from actually. If you don't buy it in a case that's dark, if you buy it like in an open 6-pack, you can buy it skunky just from the light in the liquor store.
Oh yeah,
oh, wow.
Yeah. I believe it. It makes sense actually. Well, so why is Heineken so terrible then? Is it just because it's Heineken?
Yeah,
that shit's skunky, dude. I cannot even drink that beer. I'm like, oh my god, this is horrible.
Very rare.
You probably just don't like it. It's probably what it is.
Yeah. Well, I've had a couple of Heinekens that weren't skunky, but the only time I've ever had Heineken that wasn't skunky, I bought it at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, and it was in cans.
Huh.
But that's the only time I've ever had Heineken.
Whoa. Does Heineken ever come in a bottle?
Yeah.
It's a green bottle.
Yeah, it comes in bottle. I've seen more Heineken bottles than I have cans.
Yeah, the Heineken cans only came out 5 or 6 years ago.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Hang on. I made coffee. That was the reason I was late.
Huh.
I made coffee, too, and the coffee's already doing a number on me. Which is odd because I already took care of that this morning, but apparently I've got a second wave incoming. The voice of one is in the chat.
Hey boys, how's it going, brother? How are you this morning?
What you were telling me right before we went live, and you're like, yeah, when you're telling me the name of the stream, when you said random stuff, I didn't quite understand what you said, but you were hitting go, so I didn't want to try to ask you about it right then. I thought you'd said Ayn Rand.
Oh,
when you said random stuff. So I thought you said
we're going to be discussing Ayn Rand and maybe some other authors.
Coffee, conspiracies, and Ayn Rand. And I was like, wait, what? And you're like, yeah, we're going live. And I'm like,
have you read some Ayn Rand?
I'm like, look, dude, I've been watching Rucka Ali's videos too. And I'm not sure I want to go down that road with you, bro. Like,
I'm not going to talk about Ayn Rand.
I like, dude, Rucka has completely changed his approach to to what he's doing. He is so into Ayn Rand. It is ridiculous. He has completely become an Ayn Rand poster child, and all he does is promote Ayn Rand's shit. His latest song, which is phenomenal, by the way, his latest song is called The History of Philosophy, and it's fucking amazing until you get up to the end and he starts trying to sell you Ayn Rand. But he doesn't push it really hard, but you know that's where he's coming from, because if you watch his other shit, you know that Rucker Ali only cares about Ayn Rand these days. And at the end of the song, he just mentions something like, nobody's given her a chance, but history will decide, or something like that. You can tell what he means, but he's not too pushy about it to where the song becomes unenjoyable. It's a pretty good song.
Wasn't Ayn Rand a political activist and author of some kind?
Yeah, she was an author of the fictional kind.
Okay, but she was like a political activist too. She was involved in political activism.
Yeah,
activism, I should say.
Plus,
who is Ian Rand? I don't know. Ayn Rand's brother.
Isn't Atlas Shrugged like 50 years old now?
Yeah, it's pretty old. I mean,
yeah, I would say it was written in the. I thought it was written in the 50s, but it might have been the 60s, early 60s. Maybe.
Yeah, that's probably. Yeah, because otherwise hippies would have burned her to death.
And tomorrow we'll be talking about the Bronte sisters.
Oh, poop.
Maybe next week we'll get some Marx and Nietzsche in here.
I already had my flat Earth debate for the day. It lasted about 4 tweets.
Oh yeah,
I had one of those too.
It was Forever Flat, I think was his name.
Oh yep, I've been arguing with that guy too.
Yeah, he was trying to tell me that satellites aren't real, and I was like, well, then explain to me how my satellite radio works. And he started to go into bounces off the ionosphere and blah blah blah. I'm like, okay, I have a degree in telecommunications. You want to start over?
It bounces off the what?
Ionosphere.
It bounces off the iono what?
Yeah. Why is it a sphere but nothing else is?
The flat Earth is square. Yeah.
It bounces off the iono flat.
I'm like, what?
Gravity only works. If the Earth was square, gravity would have to come in 90-degree angles.
Yeah.
The iono dome.
Said satellites aren't real, and I said, well, then explain to me why it is that I can, on my satellite radio, I can drive from one end of the country to the other while listening to the same channel, but if I pull under the canopy at McDonald's, I lose the signal. Well, it's all ground based, man. It's all ground based. That's well known. I was like, no, again, I have a telecommunications degree. No, it's not all fucking ground based, you moron.
Yeah, that's
live via satellite is a fucking thing, you dipshit.
Right.
Oh, most communications carried by the transatlantic cable. Yes, that's true. Most of it is. But the stuff that needs to go really fast, like television, doesn't use that cable.
This is the first tweet that I saw of his that I responded to. He says, "Don't know, don't care. It's an appeal to the sky fallacy."
Yeah, that's where I saw him too.
We might have some sort of rotating celestial dome / sphere above us. Not sure. No motion, no curve. Water's always flat and level. Oceans don't bend. Prove the Earth is flat. That's all you ever need. Thanks. And I said, might and not sure are not proof of anything. And
because it isn't.
Said,
I don't know why
no, it's not.
It's this. Well, you don't have any reason to believe that because you've never passed a fucking physics class.
And then he responded to that by saying, I didn't offer proof of anything. I don't have to, with 2 O's, TOO.
Yeah.
Then he says, read the first part. It's a logical fallacy. So I said, you used the word prove in the tweet I quoted, you dishonest fool. Saying something is a fallacy doesn't make it so. Then he says, in regards to water, can you read? I said, I can read. Did you know that just because you type something doesn't mean it's not stupid as fuck and wrong? Did you know that?
Oceans don't bend. Yeah, they fucking do.
Yep.
Dude, they probably fucking do.
Yeah.
Water always finds its level. Yeah, its level is a certain distance away from the center of the earth.
Yeah. What's the longest level you've ever used? Have you ever used a hose level, a water level?
Oh yeah.
So
but those don't lay flat though.
Right, but strangely there aren't.
They've been the water. The water bends.
Yeah, and those things can be miles long and still work. Except that they can't unless you're high enough above the ground that the fucking level isn't laying on the ground. In which case, if it's miles long, it's gonna bend. Yeah, I just the last question I asked that guy was, "Have you ever passed a physics class?" And he hasn't responded in over an hour.
In regards to water, can you read? I retweeted that one and said I love sending. And he says, "Start condescending." Laugh emojis. Are you just trolling? You quoted me and were condescending in every tweet you wrote. LMAO. You're a joke. Kick rocks, you clown. I said, do you have anything not stupid to say?
Next time you have a thought, let it go.
Let it die like your dreams.
You're kind of robot-y, Jags.
All right.
He wasn't roboting for me. It's just probably Hangouts being retarded again.
Okay, what the fuck?
I'll refresh anyway.
Did you guys hear about the man accused of rape that shows his penis in court to prove his innocence? This ought to be an interesting article.
I hate when you can't get people to refresh their page on a Google Hangout. Like, I'll be watching people's Hangouts, and then they're having problems, and I'll be in the chat like, refresh, hit F5, hit Control-R, refresh your page. And they don't. They just sit there and wait it out. And it's like, dude, we've been doing this for long enough that we know you can't wait it out. It's not going to go away until you refresh.
It doesn't get better on its own. It continues to degrade.
Right. Mm-hmm. And refreshing takes all of what, like 10 seconds?
Yeah.
I mean, it kicks you out and then brings you right back to where you were. So I don't understand their aversion to refreshing. Right, I gotta screen share this.
Don't do that next to me. Here, you guys can watch them throw up.
Oh, great.
I'm glad I'm looking at an article instead. I'm not sure what you're seeing. Okay, here's here's the young man that showed his penis to prove his innocence in court. So I'm not sure how that would prove your innocence unless unless the victim got a really good look at the penis. And
right.
I don't really see how that could happen in a rape case. Like
look at this. Look at this, bitch.
Yeah.
Take a look.
This dick that's gonna touch you, bitch.
Take a picture.
That means she had to have seen a flaccid and erect. So I'm still I doubt the veracity of her rape statement now, kind of. I mean, well, she might have been raped. I'm just saying. I mean, most rapers don't take time to show their penis to their victim.
You saw a penis that is darker than the rest of his skin. For that reason alone, you must have quit.
Huh?
Well, because she says she was raped by somebody with a penis with lighter colored skin than the rest of his body, and this person's penis is darker than the rest of his body.
So you must have quit.
Yeah.
If the junk don't fit.
If the room's well lit.
Right. And if the glove don't fit, then it's time to acquit.
Oh, shit.
All right, so this was in Connecticut. A man on trial for sexual assault was allowed to drop his trousers and expose his penis for stunned New Haven jury. I'm sure they were stunned. They're like, oh, my. to prove that it doesn't match his accuser's description. The New York Post reports the accuser says she was raped in 2012 by strangers whose penis was lighter than the rest of his skin, and picked Dresden James out of a photo lineup. But James' lawyers argued that his client's private parts are actually darker than the rest of his body. So what, did he show his cock to his lawyer too?
Look,
The best way to prove it was to display his manhood.
if I'm accused of rape, and the only way to exonerate myself is to show my dick to whomever, I'm showing my dick to everybody.
Yeah, me too.
When I read this part and it says he walked in the courtroom without warning anyone, dropped his pants, lifted his shirt, and stood there for 10 seconds, that is the action of an innocent man.
Right. Like, come on, this is not the penis you were looking for. These are not the drugs you're looking for.
Well, how long has this thing been in trial? She was raped 6 years ago.
Yeah, so has he been sitting in county waiting to go to fucking trial all this time?
See,
or this is an old story.
Oh, that's possible too. James' lawyer argued that his client's privates didn't match the rest of his body. Judge Elpido Vitale agreed it was within James' Sixth Amendment's right to defend himself by whipping his bits out in the Hall of Justice.
That's a well-versed, whipping his bits out.
Yeah, that's right in the Constitution.
That's I think we call that habeas penis. It's habeas penis.
Yeah. That was to may whippest the bits out to prove thine innocence. But when Vitale brought the 2 women and 6 men of the jury into the courtroom, he didn't warn them. Well, that was nice.
Yeah.
That they were going to see, saying only the defense was going to offer non-testimonial evidence that is sensitive in nature and highly personal. So the jurors were shocked when James walked in the middle of the courtroom.
Actually, by the judge not saying what he was going to do, that kind of taints the expression for the jury, doesn't it? If the judge doesn't say, "Look, she says the guy's dick was lighter skinned than the rest of him. This guy says his dick is darker skinned than the rest of him. He has to be allowed to show his dick, so I'm going to allow him to show you his dick." That's a far cry from just got some personal shit he wants to show us, and then whip out his dick.
Yeah, and for 10 seconds, it wasn't just a quick look. Hey, it's darker than the rest. It was a, hey, check out my junk kind of thing.
A long 10 seconds too, I bet.
I bet it was. But when Vitale brought the 2 women, he didn't. Okay, so the jurors were shocked when James walked in the middle of the courtroom, dropped his pants, lifted his shirt, and pulled out his penis, standing wordlessly for 10 seconds, for a full 10 seconds, according to people who witnessed the spectacle. Shocked at least one.
That line, according to people who witnessed the spectacle, reminds me of the song the Streak. Look at it!
They call him the Streak.
Look at that! I'm sure, pass the thing on 2 feet.
I'm sure the jurors were shocked. One juror looked away while others in the room tried to suppress grins and snickers at the explicit evidence witnesses said. Snickers, huh? That makes me wonder how big old said penis was.
Yeah, was it fun size or family size?
It wasn't even regular size. It was either fun size or the buying share brand.
Yeah.
James then pulled up his pants, and detectives and the defense rested its case. So like that lawyer is great. You seen his penis, everybody? Case closed.
That's it. I rest my case.
Yeah, you saw a penis that was darker than the rest of the skin. For reason alone, you must acquit. Defense lawyer Bussard said in closing statements. Bussard noted that the display had brought more people into the courtroom that day. I imagine it did. You may have not noticed because of my client having shown his penis. The gallery's a little more full today, Bussard said, and then snickered, but they didn't have that. But prosecutor Stacy Miranda said the graphic exhibit was far from hard evidence. Now,
Yeah. Man.
I wonder if they intended that pun.
Yep.
Come on, of course they did.
Arguing
Fairly
James
obviously written for the internet and not for print.
might have done something with his pubic hair since it was assault.
What the fuck?
Wait a
Oh,
second,
he might have done something.
it had nothing to do with his pubic hair. It was they said it's
I know that the defendant's face doesn't match the face in the photograph, but he might have had plastic surgery.
Yeah, he might have done something different with his.
He might have done something different.
I just want to point out that we were talking about a black man, and I'm pretty sure all their pubic hair is the same color.
Yeah, I don't know what that. How do you do something with your pubic hair to change the tone of your penis?
Yeah, so that prosecutor wasn't very good, obviously.
I'm a little concerned about how much time Stacy spent staring at the man's pubic hair.
That's funny.
Well, and he might have is not a good, like, you can't prosecute somebody on
a might have, yeah.
On a might have. I mean, there has to be solid evidence supporting a guilt verdict. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I hope they have better evidence than the color of his dick.
Well, you never know.
I picked out of a lineup. Hey, I picked out a black guy. I don't know. Everything about it makes me want to be a member of that jury.
Yeah. that makes it just that would be like the only jury I'd want to be on, because that'd be a story to tell for eternity. Like,
yeah.
You know, I was on a jury once, and this guy was on trial for rape, and to prove his innocence, he showed his wiener to the whole courtroom.
Excuse me while I whip this out.
Right. I got something to show you.
I got something I think you need to see.
Yeah. I think this could help my case. Yeah, that was definitely that was definitely a silly story. Okay, let's see if I can find another funny story.
Kind of feels like it should have started with a Florida man.
It probably it was Connecticut. Yeah, that is weird. Oh, here. This is. It's sort of funny, but it's also it's more stupid than funny. All right, it's a Tennessee lawmaker says pornography is the root cause of school shootings.
Oh yeah,
I'm pretty sure that's not what it is.
This is the bitch that says she can buy porn in a grocery store.
Oh yeah. The best porn. The best porn. So
yeah, the stuff on the top shelf porn.
Right. That's where everybody goes to get their top shelf porn. But just not the internet, or I bet adult bookstores are going to be going out of business. I'm surprised they still have them, to be honest with you. I mean, because it's much more anonymous, and I'm sure there's a larger selection if you were to.
There's a lot of freaky deakies don't particularly want to.
Oh, you know what? I mean, I'm not saying this to put down truckers at all, but I do know a lot of truckers.
Is it Kentucky or Tennessee that has that Lion's Den adult bookstore that there's Christian billboards like on either side of their lot along the freeway, decrying this house of sin? But the Lion's Den advertises, I think it's Tennessee. They advertise all over the fucking state, and it's this huge fucking porn store in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, we have one of them. We have one of them about 18 miles from here, I believe. It's about 18, 20 miles. I don't know. I think it's 18. I mean the town, not the adult bookstore.
I was gonna say
the town. But I have been there.
I have the mileage down to the bookstore pretty tight.
I have been there before. I'm not gonna. Actually, it's one of the cheapest places to buy paraphernalia around. Drug or like.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like you go to like some of the places in town here. They want like fucking $20 for a brass 9-ringer. At the adult bookstore, it's like $4.99.
Yeah.
So, Republican Representative Diane Black of Tennessee recently cited child pornography, not child. I'm sorry, I added that.
Nope.
That would,
Don't give her any validity.
yeah, pornography. I mean, that would definitely make motherfuckers shoot up some shit, though.
Mm-hmm.
Along with the deterioration of family and violent movies as a contributing factor to gun violence in schools, I don't believe that. If anything, violent movies and gun violence in movies, stuff like that, it would desensitize people more to violence. I mean, they wouldn't think of that as their go-to.
I remember when the religious right and the religious left, for that matter, their problem was with violence being watered down. You know, people get shot and there's no blood and stuff like that. So they kind of demanded that media sources show the consequences of gun wounds and shit like that.
Really? When was that? Back in the 70s?
80s.
80s? Okay. Because
it might have even been early 90s. It might have been while I was in college, like 1991. But so then they go the other way and like, okay, so we'll just make it as gory as fucking possible to try to, you know, suit these people. And now it's so gory that people are desensitized to the gore. Like, well, make up your fucking mind, because 25, 30 years ago, you thought the complete fucking opposite.
Right.
So how do you want violence? You're not going to get around it. It's, you know, there's been violence in entertainment since long before the days of Shakespeare. So what the fuck?
Right. Fucking, if you would have went to the, I mean, them plays were soaked in blood back then. Like, you go to any Shakespearean play, I bet you'd be lucky to find a play where someone didn't get killed.
Oh, yeah.
You know, to find one play where someone didn't get murdered.
Well, the gravedigger scene with Yorick.
Yeah.
How macabre is the fact that they've dug up a man's skull, they know what man it is, and they're having a conversation with it.
Right. Oh, alas, poor Yorick, I knew him well. That'd be like me going digging up with my friends and be like, oh, Ben, I knew you so well. You know, I would probably get arrested for that. Everyone's guaranteed it.
Actually, there was I learned that soliloquy. That was for my English class. That was I don't remember anymore. I know it's a loss. I knew him Horatio rather than I knew him well, but other than that, I don't remember the rest of it.
Yeah, I don't remember it either. I wonder if they still make you read Shakespeare in high school.
I would hope you have to read at least one play.
Like Romeo and Juliet or Julius Caesar would be my
Hamlet.
My guess was Hamlet too.
Hamlet's pretty violent.
Macbeth is violent, and it has a ghostie.
Yeah, like I said, one way or another, people are going to piss and moan about violence. There's a perfect case in point. I don't want to give too much away, but my sister-in-law and my brother decided that they weren't going to let the kids grow up watching television. Okay. And so they didn't. But
are they fundies by any chance?
No, not at all. No, I think they're probably both Christian, but neither one of them are active Christians.
Okay, I just wondered if they were fundies or something.
No, and the only reason that I think that they're Christians is because my sister-in-law asked me if I was actually an atheist and did I really not believe in any gods, and I was like, yeah, I thought that's what you were too. So I just let it go at that. I didn't question her on what her beliefs were. I know she was raised Catholic, but I also know there's no fucking way my brother's Catholic. So it's weird. Her family knows distant relatives of the Catholic half of my family. So her family knows my family from years and years and years and years before my brother and sister-in-law got married. It was just weird.
Oh, that's creepy. I wish there was a story to go along with it.
I was like, their family has friends that are cousins of my cousins.
Right.
They're from similar areas.
Well, you the town you grew up in wasn't as big of as the town you live in now, is it?
Well, I'm living in the same town, but the town that
Or I'm sorry, you moved to a bigger town when you.
yeah,
when
I moved
you
to
got older.
Indianapolis from here. This is the third biggest city in the state.
And what's that? I mean, well, Gary's probably one of the. Is Gary one of them too?
Gary's top 10.
It's number 1 or 2 in a couple things.
Yeah, nationwide.
It
Although it's getting better. Downtown Gary is actually really nice.
Yeah, I had a girl I went to high school with, Ticey was her name, and she moved to Gary, Indiana, and I was kind of worried about her. I'm like, I mean, she's a black girl, she can hold her own, but I was still, I mean, worried, you know.
There are definitely parts. It's most of the state we call that the region. It's the region. It's kind of a bunch of towns densely packed together. The urban sprawl from suburban sprawl from Chicago has spread that far south, so it's just a bunch of towns that just line up against one another, and that area is called the region. And there are a bunch of really poor all white towns right next to Gary, and a lot of the violence from those all white towns ends up being reported as violence in Gary, or it actually occurs in Gary, but it's just the poor white kids doing shit, and it's not always the poor black kids doing shit in Gary.
Right. Well, I mean, I didn't. I'm just saying I was worried about her safety because she, you know, I'm sure, you know, she's a black girl moving in with family, so I'm sure she was, you know. I was just, you know,
there's a city park just on the one side of the street is a city called East Chicago, and on the other side of the street is Gary, and there's a city park right there. And I was staying with a friend of mine around Christmas or something. I can't remember why we were there, but he and I are walking around town, and we come up to this park, and we end up sitting down in the shade of this church, in the shade of the streetlights, as a fucking gang fight goes on in the park across the street. It's like log chains and baseball bats, like a good old-fashioned fight, no guns. It was the weirdest, freakiest shit I'd ever seen in my life, aside from the time that I saw a guy with a log chain attack a guy with 2 baseball bats, and the guy with the chain should have brought a baseball bat.
came to a gunfight with a knife.
Yeah, he didn't get his ass kicked in an IGA parking lot by a guy with 2 baseball bats.
Yeah. People have a hard time understanding this very simple concept of physics. Mm-hmm. And I get it a lot when I'm swinging nunchucks around, because I have nunchucks. I have ones that I made myself, and I know how to swing them. People go, yeah, that's like one of the best weapons there is. And I go, nah. If you took my nunchucks are this long. If instead of having a rope in the middle or a chain in the middle, if you just had a stick that long,
yeah,
you've got a much better weapon. Because
you can poke with it, you can hit with it, you know, you can use it for a lot of things.
And when you hit somebody with the nunchucks, you break your kinetic chain right at that chain.
Right.
You lose your weight, your force, your moment, your weight that goes into the hit doesn't count, because you don't get that. It bounces off them, and you only get the weight of the stick. That's all you get.
Right. I'm sure it'll still hurt, but I mean the inertia is
and I'm
stopped instantly.
Yeah, and people will take that stance too. They go, well, if you hit somebody with nunchucks, it's gonna hurt them. I go, yes, it is.
Yeah, you hit
somebody with nunchucks. Yeah. All things being equal, if I hit you with the same amount of force, it's gonna hurt a lot more with that stick that doesn't have a break in the middle of it.
Right.
And the same thing can be said for a chain versus a baseball bat. Sure, a chain's going to do a lot of damage to somebody, and people like to imagine that they can disarm your baseball bat with the chain or something like that. First of all, that's going to require 10,000 hours of practice.
Yeah, I have
Second
no
of
idea.
all,
I was thinking.
Second of all, that's only going to work if you're stronger than me. If you wrap your chain around my bat, now our weapons are locked together. Whichever one of us is stronger or knows how to work momentum better,
or has 2 bats,
yeah. You just drop the one and start swinging with the other one.
Go ahead, fuck with your chain. It's wrapped around my bat. Throw it now, motherfucker.
Exactly. Not only is my bat tied up, but your chain's tied up too. And I've got an extra weapon.
It got even, but the best part of it was that it wasn't just that he was swinging this log chain. It was that the log chain was like 10 feet long. So it is huge fucking arc that he had to get this thing into, which gave.
All you got to do is step towards him, just walk towards him.
That's all the guy did. He just timed it. As soon as the chain went past his face, he ran at him with the baseball bats and beat the shit out of him. Yeah, it was a great fight. But the one in the park was a little more. Those guys had like 3 feet of log chain where you could actually whip it, but still, the same rules apply. Although I'd rather get hit with a nunchuck than a log chain. I've been hit by a log chain by accident. That's a very. It leaves tiny little bruises where each of the links kinks around your skin. It hurts like fuck.
I imagine it wouldn't feel pleasant.
Yeah.
Eric Foam says knuckle dusters are the best, are the most practical.
I disagree. I think the baseball bat's the most practical.
Yeah, there's that way you have distance between you and your opponent.
You know what knuckle dusters are the best thing for? The best thing that those things accomplish is for you to not break your fingers.
Yep.
And the second best thing they're good for is catching you a charge.
Yep. That's the next thing they're good for is catching you a felony charge. Yep.
Here's your case.
And if your bones aren't hard enough to hurt somebody when you punch them, you shouldn't be out there fighting.
Yeah, or use a fist pack.
Mm-hmm.
That's why, like, back in my drinking days, like, if things were getting dicey at a bar, I would always, like, reach my hand in my pocket and put my lighter in my right hand just in case I had to, you know, make a quick right swing.
I've been in 2 fights in my life. I've had more punches thrown at me than I've actually been in fights, which is different. But one of them when I was like 6. And then I've never had one as an adult, but I've had punches thrown at me blindly. I take that back. It wasn't a fight, but I got jacked in the jaw. The neighbor's drunk brother was over at his house next door and was just screaming his fucking head off. And they'd called the cops, and we're waiting for the cops to come. And the brother that lived next door is trying to get his brother to calm down. And the drunken brother goes to throw a punch, and I thought it was fucking Superman for having done it because it worked. But I'm standing next to him when he goes to take this big wind up, and I just stuck my arm in behind his head and in front of his elbow, so his arm was just stuck there. It was great. I thought, like I said, I thought I was fucking Superman. I kept him from getting punched. That was sweet. And what I didn't realize is that his brother didn't have a hold of his other arm, and he came across with a left hook and hit me in the jaw. Best fucking punch I ever took, man. I saw stars.
Yeah, you probably got hit close to the button. Yeah, it could have knocked you out. You know, in your jaw.
It was just forward, closer to my chin than my jawline. So he just missed, especially considering he was drunk as piss and throwing a wild left hay baler.
Right.
Here's the thing about knuckle dusters or baseball bats or anything like that. If you are intending to escalate the level of violence, you're making a commitment, okay? If you want to fight me and we're going to fight, okay, I'm going to worry about preserving myself. I'm going to worry about not getting hit. I'm going to try to end that fight. If you pull out a pair of knuckle dusters, I am going to fuck you up so fucking bad that you're going to go to the hospital. One of us is going to wind up in the hospital. The other one's going to wind up in jail. You pull out baseball bat on me. You pull out knuckle dusters on me. You better be ready to fucking knock all my teeth out and break my arms, because I am going to fuck you up, dude, if you pull out knuckle dusters on me. If you pull out a knife on me, I'm going to run. If you're planning on escalating the level of violence with knuckle dusters or a baseball bat, you might as well just get a knife or a gun. because that's the only way you're not going to wind up in the fucking hospital against somebody like me. You pull out knuckle dusters, I'm going to lose my shit. I'm going to shove my fucking fist down your throat so fucking hard. I am not going to stop when you're down on the ground. It's going to be people pulling me off of you. I'm going to break all your fucking fingers that you had those knuckle dusters on just to fucking prove a point to you. And then I'm going to fucking take your knuckle dusters and shove them down your fucking throat because you fucking scared me and you pissed me off.
It's like it's like the dad of a buddy of mine once said, "You don't fuck with little guys because little guys fight like they're gonna get eaten if they lose."
And that's exactly the mentality that, you know, if it's just fist, you know, we'll fight, the fight will be over, whatever. I might help you up or you might help me up or whatever. But if you pull out a weapon that's not a deadly weapon, boy, I'm not scared of your fucking knuckle dusters, man. I'm not. But I'm scared of a person that's going to pull out knuckle dusters. So yeah, I mean, the fear is what's going to motivate me to do it, but it's not going to stop me from attacking. It's going to make me attack harder.
His jaw could get broken if they connected, but you got to think about how wiry and fast he is. All he has to do is get in close, and the knuckle dusters are no longer effective.
Dude, I've broken somebody's jaw with my fist, man. You don't need knuckle dusters to break somebody's jaw.
It's just a matter of
that's the thing. If you think that knuckle dusters are going to give you that much of an advantage, you're really going to fucking kill you.
I mean, unless you're going to sucker punch them. I mean, if you come up fucking and they're not expecting it, and yeah, you can whack them one, then that would fuck them up, you know. But I mean,
this is my point. I think you're better off in a fight without knuckle dusters. I think you're really better off in a fight without knuckle dusters. Well, because against somebody like me, if you pull out knuckle dusters, what you've done is you've escalated the level of violence. Now, if I can find a weapon, I'm going to use whatever weapon I can find too. You know what I mean?
The best idea is just not carrying anything with you, and the notion that you're going to use it.
Right.
And it also makes a difference between a misdemeanor and a felony. An assault is just a misdemeanor.
And the other thing is if you pull out your knuckle dusters and I have a pocket knife in my pocket, you might have just brought knuckle dusters to a knife fight, dude. You might have just started a knife fight with your fucking knuckle dusters. And then what? If you think you could fight somebody with a knife, you haven't probably been in very many fights, or you don't understand. You don't understand what a knife is capable of. All you got to do is go, huh? Like that at somebody. You slice across somebody's bicep like that. Not only can they not use that arm now to fight you with, within 30 seconds, they're not going to be able to use the other arm or their legs or their brain. You know what I mean? Yeah, if you're gonna escalate the level of violence, you need to make a commitment to kill the person you're fighting against.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the only reason you would do that is with the intent to kill, in my opinion, which is why I probably never make it into a fucking...
Yeah, I'm a pacifist as a rule anyway, unless I'm being threatened. I mean, I'll fight if I have to. I mean, I'm a big dude too, so I mean, I'd probably hurt you if I wanted to.
If you think I'd be more afraid of using the knife than of you breaking my jaw with your knuckle dusters, you've got another thing coming, man. And if I can show that I used my knife in self-defense when you approach me with knuckle dusters, I've got nothing to worry about.
I'm not sure how this topic started, Mediocre Deuce Maze. I'm really not sure.
You were talking about a gang fight, and then somebody in the chat said knuckle dusters, and I started talking about what I think about knuckle dusters.
Yeah, we were talking about Gary, and then I talked about a gang fight and log chains and baseball bats.
Oh, okay, that's how it happened. I'm stoned, so y'all forgive me. I just forgot how it spun out of control. It happens at times. You know, you'll have that.
I don't know why you think I'd be afraid to use the knife. I really wouldn't. If you come at me with a weapon like knuckle dusters and I pull out a knife to try to get you to stop, and you come within knife range of me, I'm going to cut you. I'm going to cut you. I'm going to cut your face. I'm going to cut your arms. I'm going to cut your legs. I'm going to do whatever's in my power to not lose the fight, right? If there's a rock next to me, and you've got knuckle dusters on, I'm going to hit you in the face with a rock.
Or several of them.
And I'm not going to stop. I'm not going to stop either. I'm not going to stop when you're down on the ground. I'm going to keep going until you stop moving. Because you pulled a weapon out. This is my point. Just by putting the knuckle dusters on your fist, you have escalated the level of violence, and you have put yourself in a much more dangerous situation. You've now put yourself in a weapon fight, and you did it, right? Like, it's silly. I mean,
I found a more lighthearted story for us to read here. I'm not going to share it the entire time. Where is it?
Oh, I think it's for the ego. Eric's just going on his little ego trip now in the chat, thinking that I'm actually like challenging him to a fight. No, I'm just suggesting that maybe knuckle dusters aren't that smart of a move. If you've ever actually been in real fights, you understand that escalating the level of violence is not always the best thing to do, unless you actually intend on killing the other person.
And unless you're defending yourself, you just don't have a reason to lay a hand on somebody with your fucking knuckle dusters or whatever you think will make your dick look bigger in a screenshot.
Yeah.
All right, here's a funny one, and it was in Florida of all places. Imagine that. I don't know why they have the weirdest news there.
Well, it's because of the way they have to report the court. Every arrest, I think, has to be made public. So the ability to find all of the really weird, fucked up shit that happens most everywhere, but you know, we see most of it from Florida because of their reporting laws.
All right, here's a picture of the gentleman. I won't leave it.
That's a good look.
Yeah, man caught masturbating tells police officers Captain Kirk.
All right, man, I'm allowed to masturbate here. I'm Captain Kirk.
It's okay.
Move along. I'm Captain Kirk, sir. Get back down to the engine room, Ensign.
Damn blue.
Clearwater, Florida. Police say a man caught masturbating at a Clearwater bus stop told them he was Captain Kirk. Clearwater police were called into a bus stop on Gulf to Bay Boulevard around 11:20 a.m. It was fucking in the morning for a report of lewd and lascivious act. Responding officers say they found a man sitting on a bench touching himself under his shorts. In an arrest, police noted it was obvious the man was masturbating. When officers asked what he was doing, the man told them, "I'm scratching myself." How loose were these shorts that he could masturbate with his dick in his pants? Is my question. Or how small was his penis?
Yeah, there you go.
After the man was arrested for disorderly conduct, police asked him to identify himself. The arrest report states the man told him his name was James Tiberius Kirk, the full name of the fictional character's Captain Kirk from Star Trek. Police say they later discovered the man's real name is James Bundrick. The 56-year-old, yeah, he's a fundamentalist weirdo. The 56-year-old is now also facing charges for providing a false name or identity to law enforcement.
Either lock him up in the psych ward or get a fucking sense of humor.
Right.
So it's not like he tried to use the fact that tried to say that he's James Kirk to try to get out of the charges. No. That headline's a little bit missing. It's they caught him whack it off and he gave him a fake name.
Yeah.
That's a literal fake name.
I don't really see how he thought that was a. I mean, I thought he was crazy. Well, yeah, he has to be a little bit.
That's what I mean. Don't charge him with giving a false name. Either lock him up in a psych ward where he belongs because he was masturbating in public and thought he was James T. Kirk, or get a sense of humor about the fact that when you asked him his name, he said he was James Tiberius Kirk. My name is Jesus Christ. We locked them up right away. Why can't we lock this fucker up? Just seems superfluous to add on that charge.
This one's kind of funny and in an ironic way. I mean, I don't believe in burning our flag because as much as people may hate Trump, I'm not a Trump lover by any means, but our flag means something.
I burn my old flags because that's what you're supposed to do.
Well, right, but okay, maybe that's what he was doing. Let's hope that's what he was doing. But anyway, a man burns an American flag and starts a wildfire. A man burning an American flag in Washington State on Memorial Day weekend started a 5-acre wildfire, officials said Monday. In Facebook post, Grant County Fire District 13 said no structures were damaged in the blaze. No matter your political view, we think it's safe to say we can all agree starting a wildfire is no good, the post said. It wasn't clear whether anyone was arrested in Ephrata. Is that how do you think you guys pronounce it? Ephrata?
I don't know.
Ephrata? Police sergeant said Monday night that he couldn't immediately comment or release a police report. Isaac Merkel of Fire District 13 said the fire, which mostly burned sagebrush, could have been much larger had the weather not cooperated. Any sort of wind would have been a totally different story, he said, adding that the point of the district's post was to get in front of people's faces. Anything can start a fire. So he may have been burning it for political views. I mean, they insinuated it was
given the day that he chose to burn it, unless he bought a new flag and replaced it that day, that's a pretty generous interpretation.
Yeah, I mean, we don't know for sure why he actually. Oh, this is a dark one.
See, I think that case should be taken as man starts fire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
forget the flag. It doesn't. The man started a fucking fire. Like,
right.
No matter what you were doing, you know what I mean. Like, you were doing something stupid and you started a fire. You're in violation of the law. You should go to prison for that. Don't care if it was a flag or your shoes that you set on fire that caused the wildfire to happen.
Right. He has. I mean, and even though he burned a flag, which I don't agree with unless it's damaged, it's still a protected right, and you can do it if you want to. I mean, I don't have to agree with that.
Certainly distasteful, but Jags is right. The real story is that the man started a fucking wildfire, not that he burned a flag.
Here's a view. Teacher texted friend about empowering women to become serial killers. Las Vegas police say. Wow. Students looked on as a Las Vegas police flooded into their physics classroom on May 16th. The officers were there to arrest their teacher, 48-year-old Leslie McGorty. I was shocked, high school junior Bernice Olgan told Fox Vegas. What were you saying, Artie?
I need to know what the details are, because I've got friends of mine. One of them used to be a prosecutor, an arson prosecutor, and she was a bit of a pyro. And she made the comment at a party one night that everybody knew she was a bit of a pyro. That, you know, it's fitting that she should be a pyro prosecutor, given the fact that she's a pyromaniac. And this teacher friend of mine said, "Yeah, I think it's, you know, the thing that you're interested in tends to lend itself towards the career that you have. For instance, I'm a pedophile."
Or a serial killer, I guess.
It's just a really dark sense of humor, and in certain company, it's just fine for somebody to say something like that.
Well, sure, but in this day and age, yeah, I can't know that you're joking.
Right, that's what I mean. You don't do it by tweet. That's something you do face to face, so that you can know what the intent of that person is as they're saying it. Like, we all know he's not a fucking pedophile. But
didn't that Omni Politics guy end up killing himself?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, just a couple months ago, he ended up killing himself. I knew that was going to happen, dude. He was too young. He was too young to know what the fuck he was doing, and he was out there. He was like 17, and he's out there promoting pedophilia from, you know, the compassionate side or whatever. And like, this dude is so fucking torn in his own brain. He is not going to make it through the next year, and he didn't.
Yeah, somebody should have stepped in and helped that kid out.
Yeah, probably.
Although, if he's at 17, it's a little hard to say that you know you're a pedophile, but if you are a pedophile. Granted, there isn't a hell of a lot you can do about it. It's like any other sexual orientation. Unfortunately, if you act on that one, you deserve to rot in hell for it.
Right. I think that you're right. They might have a predilection to being pedophiles, but I think a lot of it may be things that are events that happened in their childhood that made them more attracted to, or also maybe like a power thing, maybe like, you know, they don't feel like they can control a normal woman, you know, like maybe it's a control thing, you know, or maybe like the vulnerability aspect of it or something. I mean, I know it's not normal. I mean, like you said, there probably is a sexual their predilection to it.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of it is a sickness, you know.
And I'm sure that there are a lot of people out there who are pedophiles in their brain, who don't act on it, who don't talk about it,
Right.
who just ignore it and let it go. Look, I'm attracted to adult women. That doesn't mean I'm going to go out and molest an adult woman or rape an adult woman. So it's not that hard of a stretch for me to imagine a person, a normal thinking human in all other aspects, but they're attracted to children, to think, look, I have this attraction, but I know that it's not okay for me to. Any sexual contact I had with a child would be considered rape. So that's not something I'm willing.
Exactly.
The person is willing to do. Not me personally, but you know, the person in question.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. We're speaking hypotheticals here.
Right, and I have a little bit of sympathy for the people because they are suffering from a sickness, if you will. You know what I mean? And it's, if they're not doing anything actually actively harmful to other people, why should we blame them for a problem they have that they can't help?
Sorry.
But I mean, do you think? Well, what was the catalyst for that? You know, for that, like, were maybe they were molested, or as a child themselves, or they were.
Maybe I've heard that child-on-child sexual contact can lead to pedophilia in the adult years.
Right.
My first
two kids contact, when your first sex.
I think 3rd grade was the first sexual contact I had.
And I think a lot of us had sexual contact when we were kids. You know what I mean? So I don't know if that's necessarily going to do it every time, but I've heard that it can lead to that. But
I'm sure we've all played doctor. You know,
I never played it very well.
I never did fix anything. I lost so many patients.
I always end up being a podiatrist. All right, let's see your feet.
Yeah, so a teacher texted her friend. A high school junior was shocked when a bunch of police officers came into the classroom, got her stuff, and walked out. Police say Benita's high school teacher sent a series of disturbing text messages threatening, among other things, to poke a lot of holes in a lot of people at an upcoming concert that weekend, according to the Las Vegas Review-Journal. That likely be dead by Sunday morning, even forming a plan. People remember me, McGordy allegedly wrote, according to a police report. I'd like to correct this article a little bit. That isn't a serial killer. That would be a mass murderer.
Yeah.
The friend was
kidding.
Right. And the friend responded by asking the name of the guy who shot up the strip, referencing Paddock. Doesn't matter. I'm a woman. I will be remembered, McGordy allegedly responded. In the text, McGordy allegedly wrote that she might start a new movement, another Me Too movement, but this time in which women feel empowered enough to become serial killers. What the fuck? Bitch, you just got some issues. That's what's wrong with you.
I think she's got that backwards too, because I don't know that a sense of empowerment is what motivates people to become serial killers. I think it might be the opposite of that.
Right. I think it's a sense of that's their way of taking control.
Yeah, they're trying to gain that sense of empowerment by the act of killing. So it's she's got it backwards.
Well, if all women became serial killers, they would definitely be empowered. It would make us a little more fearful of them. That's for sure.
Afraid to go out at night.
She wrote about going to the concert for the metal band Life of Agony at the Beauty Bar. Is that one of them screamo girly metal bands?
No idea.
No.
I've never heard of them. I'm not up in the new metal. I'm kind of an old man. If anybody in the chat knows, let me know. In downtown Las Vegas, and said Vegas would lose its luster after me, according to the station. Imagine knowing exactly the moment that you're going to die. I know exactly that your favorite song will be playing by your favorite band. It's just too perfect, Gordy wrote, according to the station. That's fucking pretty dark. And that's definitely pretty dark. When the friend asked to what end other than hurt people, McGordy allegedly responded by saying, everyone would know they were right and she was the crazy girl and people could feel validated. That's
insane. There's no logic to that.
That is bizarre. The friend reported the message to police. The texts were evidence enough charged with making terroristic threats a felony. So she may, at some other point, fucking I don't know what kind of sentence that what kind of sentence that would entail. What do you guys think? What kind of sentence would you get for making terror? Do you think that's a life sentence kind of thing?
That's a 5 to life.
You think that's 5 to life?
Now, but, I don't know if they do that where you're at, but here they hand out a sentence that is 5 years to life. That is the sentence you can get. Now, to me, that is insane. That means 2 people can commit the exact same crime. One of them can end up spending 5 years in prison. The other can end up spending life in prison.
But how do they determine who gets 5 and who gets... I mean...
No, they sentence you to 5 to life.
Right. But I mean, how...
That is your sentence. So once you're in there, the parole board owns you.
Right, but I mean, I wonder what the criteria is for the parole board being like, okay, 5 years was good enough for you.
Yeah, it's just up to the parole board. But I think that sentence is so wide. Yeah, that's like saying for this degree of crime, the fine is going to be somewhere between 50 cents and $1 million for this specific crime. So 2 people,
yeah, I can see like 25 to life.
Yeah, because those are close to each other.
25 is pretty close to, I mean, that's most of your life, you know.
How could a crime that's worth 5 years in prison be equal to a crime that's worth life in prison? You know what I mean? Why are those the same? Why are they in the same group? 5 years and life are so far from one another. 5 years, I would not feel like my life was over if I got sentenced to 5 years in prison. It would suck, but I would go do my 5 years and I would come back out and I would be a normal person again. 15 years, that's another story. Life in prison, that's a completely different sentence. That's the end of your life.
It does go on to say that she was bailed out the next morning, so it couldn't have been that high of a felony. I mean, because it's technically just a threat.
Yeah.
So I mean, if she had the money to bail out, it couldn't have been. I mean, unless she's fucking really rich. I mean, you never know. She might be. But my guess would be that she fucking it isn't that high of a felony, because if she bailed out, then you know what I mean. I mean, I doubt most people have like $1 million just laying around. Even if it's only 10%, that's 100 G's. I mean, that's a lot of fucking money, dude. Unless she like put up her house or something. I don't know if maybe she owned her house or some shit like that. Yeah, that's fucking. I wonder why she Life of Agony. Like that would be, and I bet she thought it was ironic too. You know, Life of Agony, fucking going to murder a bunch of people. It seems that way. Seems that way. Sorry, I was just reading. one of Mediocrity Maze's comments. Oh, all right. I'll read a couple more of these, then I'm gonna have to wrap up. I got some stuff to do. It's Saturday. I should probably do it before it gets too hot out. Oh, California fails to restrict Elon Musk's recreational flamethrowers. I'm not sure why Elon Musk has recreational flamethrowers, but I am most certainly envious of the fact that he does.
They sold, I think they made like 500 of them and sold them online.
Oh, wow. I wish I could have one. I mean, it'd be fun. I mean, it'd just be fun to go and like burn some shit up.
Spray mosquitoes.
Yeah. No fucking mosquitoes around here. They can make a little miniature one, you know, that only has like a 5-foot flame or something.
Yeah, I don't know how far the flamethrower throws flames, but far enough to be a thrower, apparently.
Okay, Mara, California legislators have failed to pass a bill restricting sales of Tesla owner Elon Musk's puzzling new product, a recreational flamethrower, following opposition from gun lobbyists. It definitely, I mean, if you want to use that as a home protection tool, or a home, I mean, that's probably not the smartest one I could think of to use.
Stop, beef.
Yeah, you burn down your house.
I'm going to burn everything you didn't steal, you fucker.
Musk claims his boring company, that's the name of the company, that's weird, has sold out of its first batch of 20,000 flamethrowers.
20,000, not 500. Yeah, that's...
It's $500 is what it cost.
Oh, that's what it was.
He calls the product not a flamethrower because it's nothing like a military or heavy-duty commercial flamethrower used for things like agricultural clearing. Musk's new toy, which actually looks like an airsoft gun, has been described as essentially a propane torch, something like a weed burner, already available in hardware stores. They are shown in a promo video shooting flames at least 2 feet. Well, 2 feet still, I mean, you might not catch your house on fire, but that would definitely fuck someone up. I mean, can you imagine getting hit with a propane torch?
Not on purpose.
Yeah, right. I mean, it held on you is what I mean. Musk has called them a super terrible idea. What? In his own marketing promos. It's not clear why he is offering them for sale, possibly simply to raise revenue or brand awareness, or what will they actually be delivered, or what they will actually be when delivered to customers. Sales were initially regarded as a prank, but Musk has announced he'll begin handing them out at pickup parties this month because it's complicated to ship products with propane. The first party is reportedly scheduled for June 9th in Los Angeles, which last year suffered one of its worst fire seasons. Customers were told in a Snapchat note picked up on Reddit that they could toast some marshmallows or prepare to attack some zombies.
Look, here's the thing. I don't know what you guys know about zombies, but Elon Musk doesn't really seem to be that familiar with how zombies work. A flamethrower is the worst possible weapon you can try to use in a zombie apocalypse. Yeah. Unless you've got like an oxyacetylene torch that is literally going to destroy their brain within seconds. Right. And the only thing you've done is set the zombie on fire. And now the zombie's coming towards you on fire.
That is
the fire's not going to stop the zombie any more than a bullet off the zombie.
That is a very good point, sir. A very, very good point. Maybe he just, I mean, he is super rich. Maybe he doesn't have time to watch movies.
I kind of get the feeling that he did it just kind of as a demonstration of how hard it is to get anything banned in this country.
I think that it was just fun, and the zombie thing's all a big joke.
Yeah,
and people take people like Elon Musk so seriously. It's like when these flat earthers think they gotcha because of some joke Elon Musk made. Elon Musk is not worried about flat earthers. He assumes that everybody knows the Earth is round, and he can make jokes about his Tesla not looking real. That's how you know it's real.
Right.
It's a joke. He's not concerned with your gotchas and shit.
Yeah.
But the flamethrower thing, I heard that they actually had to tone it where the flame only shot so far out of the thing, so it wasn't actually considered a flamethrower. He also had to change the name of it from flamethrower to a flamethrower.
Right.
So the thing's actually called not a flamethrower.
Yeah, it's like an airsoft gun that shoots a 2-foot propane. I mean, that's still pretty fucking hot. I mean, it'll burn some shit.
Well, the fact
I guess the laws were you couldn't sell flamethrowers and you couldn't sell anything that shot a flame over 18 inches or something like that. So he made the flame under the limit and changed the name from flamethrower to not a flamethrower.
Right.
plus anything that just does nothing but shoot propane, probably not worth $500, which I think is also part of the fucking joke.
It's not quite a propane and not quite a flamethrower. Actually, is what it should be called. Not quite a flamethrower. All right, well, gentlemen, we've been streaming for about an hour. I got some stuff to do, but I may have a. Oh, I do it actually. 3:30 today. I am interviewing Peter. Gonna go for it. So
Faritsky?
yeah. I hope anyway if he remembers. I'll remind him and see if he makes sure he remembers. So 3:30 today. I am interviewing Peter. So
All right. Well, then we'll see you in 3 hours.
be here or be square. You're probably square anyway. You all have a lovely time. Bye bye.
Bye bye.